We're going to be starting off by going through our the dashboard that you can see on the screen at the moment. So I'll be explaining all of the different widgets and reports, as well as what all of these different modules are here at the top. We've also got this search bar then on the right hand side, which you can use to search for any contact within the system. So that is our first kind of thing that we'll be going through today, and then we'll be moving on to contact management. So we'll be looking at a profile page and all of the details that you can have there directly on a profile page. As part of that, we'll also be looking at our email connector. So you'll be able to kind of see how emails come in and out of Salpo, and how that functionality can be useful for your organisation. We'll then be taking a look at our Mailchimp integration too. So the fact that you can see kind of click-through rates and whether or not an email has been received. And then we'll move on to our Xero integration. So I'll be showing you the overall account balance that you can view from the Salpo side. And last but certainly not least, we'll also take a quick look at our Dear integration. So again, the information that is shared between Salpo and Dear. The reason that I've left that one to the end is not all of our customers use our Dear integration, so you can just click off at that point if our Dear integration isn't applicable. Okay, so as you can see then on the screen, we've got our dashboard. So you can see here that I've got an overview of any tasks that I've got due to carry out. So you can see I've got one scheduled for tomorrow to follow up on whether or not a customer received samples and how they are getting on with those. I've also got my customer source widget on the right hand side here. So I'm tracking the way that customers got to hear about the product or service that I'm selling, and the purpose for that really is to kind of see which of your marketing efforts are proven to be the most effective. Now you can kind of track customer source in a number of different ways. You can either manually track it on the profile page for a customer, or you can use kind of web forms and different landing pages to track which leads, for example, have come from Facebook, which leads have come from your contact us form on your website. Can all be tracked then from this customer source widget. As I come down then, you can see I'm also looking at a number of different ways to kind of display the data that is in any one of the modules. So I may want to look at my contacts by sector. I may want a list of customers who I haven't communicated within 3 months, for example. This will be a rolling report of that. And then as I come down, I may want to see in like a sort of a pipeline format, and you can have multiple different pipelines if you have a number of different sales processes. You can see my sales stage widget from lead all the way through to invoicing. You can see I've got a number of different stages here, but you can really customize that so that it suits your organization. And then coming down again, I've got a couple more kind of sales reports here, a little bit of kind of some ideas of forecasting reports, a way to view data in a table format, and lots of other reporting types as I come down. So here I've got customers who have not ordered within 90 days, which can be quite a useful feature to be able to have. So that is our dashboard really. Now moving up then to the top of the screen, you can see that I've got my contacts module. So I've used this module to create, for example, this report here where I'm tracking the source of customers, and again where I'm tracking the sector of customers. This report was created from here, but that is where I'm going to go to view, filter and report on all things kind of contact management related as a whole. So classic example for this is that is where I'm going to go to build my Mailchimp list. So I can sync the list over to Mailchimp after I've filtered, for example, on address. So I might want to only send out a email to my customers that are in Cheltenham. So I can filter by my Cheltenham customers, and it's going to then enable me to be able to sync that list with Mailchimp. Communications is really, really useful for teams. So if you're wanting to get a better understanding of what kind of tasks your colleague has booked in for the next 7 days, you can go into communications and take a look at that. And it can become really useful if somebody is to go on holiday, or be away for whatever reason without kind of prior notice, you can just go in and take a look at all of the meetings that they had booked in communications and pick up on them. You can also filter in communications by, you might just want to look at all emails that your organisation has sent out within a set period of time. So communications is exactly where you're going to go to do that. And then we've got opportunities here, which is your sales pipeline. So again, some of these reports, as I showed you, will have come from this opportunities module, but it's really a way to track your entire pipeline. So from that, you can define kind of the likelihood of an opportunity closing, all the way through to defining the approximate values for the deal. And then you can do things like track the reason if you have lost a sale, why have you lost the sale, and what can you learn from it to help you win more business in future. So that is our opportunities module here. Products is mostly for those who use our Dear Systems integration. But basically, products enables you to be able to filter on all your opportunities and see which are connected to a specific product. So that can be either by SKU number or can be by brand name, anything like that you can search for because we've got this products module available. And then from events all the way through to services, these are all custom modules. So I would just ask you to have a think about, aside from, the commonalities that most businesses share, most businesses are going to need to be able to track their sales pipeline. Most businesses are going to need to have some level of contact management, of course, modules. If you have got an idea for a custom module, do just contact us and we can either point you in the direction to build it independently, or we can provide you with some onboarding assistance, and we've got our implementation team that can really help to take you through those steps and get it right for you. Okay, and then on the right hand side we've got our search bar, as I touched upon earlier. But aside from the usual where you'd expect, obviously you can search for things like name, you can also search for contact numbers and addresses and any other record within any of these modules. So that is our dashboard and kind of what it has to offer. In order to add the reports to your dashboard, you're going to go to add widget here and then choose from any of the reporting reports that you've created previously. And there are a couple of kind of pre-populated ones in there, for example, scheduled communications, or as I've renamed it as tasks here, for you to select from already. That is out of the box. So as promised, then I'm now going to be moving on to contact management. So I'm just taking you through to a profile page for a customer. And now you can see on the right hand side we've got all of this customer's contact details. So email addresses enable me to click through onto their email address, which will then take me through to my email client. I'm not actually going to send anything out. It will take me through to my email client and I can go in and send an email out directly from there. You can see I've got my couple of different contact numbers here. So because I've got my Ring Central integration in place, if I then click on one of those numbers, that is going to dial out for me automatically. So that's another kind of use them for ways you can make things a lot quicker by having your different hyperlinks here on the right. If you have an address, which for some reason I haven't got one on this contact, but I can click through and it will take me through to Google Maps or whatever your default map application on your computer is. And then you can see that I can see kind of all of the contacts that Paul Smith is connected to, so who he works for here. I can see more details of that if I drill down into contacts there, but I get kind of some headline information here. And I've got within my within this kind of communications area, this is going to show me not only any emails that have come through via our IMAP connection, but it's also going to show me any tasks that I've got due to carry out for the customer, as well as any notes to say that I spoke to this customer on this date and we have arranged X, Y, and Z from here. So I'll just show you an example of the email connector. So because I've got my email address registered against this customer, no matter how I've sent the email, whether that's by clicking on the hyperlink in Salpo, or whether that's in the evening I may just send a quick email from the app on my phone, or whether I've sent it just via my usual Outlook system on my computer, all of those emails are going to be pulled through into Salpo as long as that customer's email address is stored against them, and as long as your email connector is properly set up. So you can see from this email here, as well as any text that is part of the email, I'll also get images, and if there were attachments, I will also get them here. I've added our marketing email address as if it belongs to this customer, hence the kind of Salpo email that we've got here. But yeah, it can be really, really useful for again, as I touched upon earlier, if somebody is off sick, if you need to pick up on something that a colleague was midway through, it's nice to be able to go in and look at what your colleague may have agreed, for example, by email. So that is our email connector. Now, most companies are moving towards some sort of cloud-based file storage at the moment. So I've got an example here for those who are using Google Drive. So when I click into the hyperlink document from here, it's going to then take me through to the document. If I have permission to view it anyway, I'm going to be able to view it. If you need to kind of add new documents to it, you can click on this plus icon and add the URL in for the document here, or you can also upload, and that's going to take you into your documents so that you can select which document you need to be uploaded into Salpo. Opportunities is going to show me any kind of sales that this customer is part of, whether that's won, lost, or in progress. So it can be quite nice information to have kind of at your fingertips when you're on the phone. If you hit products, you can see any products that the customer has ordered, what the values were for those products too, and the dates too for the opportunities. And then moving along then, as promised, to our Mailchimp integration. Okay, so for our Mailchimp integration then, when I click on the tab, I can see all lists then that our customer is subscribed to or even unsubscribed. If I then drill down into one of those lists, I will then see any campaigns that customer has received on the left, the dates for those campaigns, whether or not the campaigns were sent, opened, and also clicked through on the right hand side here. Now you can see on the right hand side we've got a number of different custom fields. So if there is something that you need to track for a customer, for example, are they a partner of yours? Are they a supplier of yours? Are they a not-for-profit organisation? However you need to filter your customer list, you're going to achieve that on the right hand side, and I'm just showing you there some examples of custom fields and how you can update that when you're on a profile page. So what I'm doing now is I'm just moving over to show you our Xero integration. I'm just sort of talking you through what you can see on a profile page. So again, contact details on the right and communications below. And yeah, now we're going to talk through our Xero integration. Details of the overall account balance. So you can see that at the moment there is nothing outstanding for this customer. But if there were, I would see that over here on the left, and if it had become overdue, it would be on the right, and this little box here would turn red, and in the box would be the number of invoices that are outstanding. But you can see I've got my invoice dates, the invoice due dates, the total amount that's being invoiced, and then when it's been paid, I'm also going to see the total amount that's being paid here. Now I'll just kind of show you then how you go about by adding an invoice. So when adding an opportunity, I'm just going to quickly whiz through and pop in some details. I'm just going to mark this then as a one opportunity, just for kind of to make things a little bit quicker. This is adding a new sale, marking the opportunity as one. When I go in then and create my invoice, this is then going to allow me to create this straight away in Xero. So once I hit create, I've got it set up so that I don't send the invoices through as approved. But if I click view here, I can go into Xero and actually approve the invoice. You'll see that status here is submitted. When I go into Xero and take a look, oh, here's the invoice here. Sorry, I do apologise, but so when I go into Xero, here's the invoice that is currently awaiting approval. Now, as soon as I approve this, you will see that the status of the invoice is going to change from submitted to authorised. So as that moves through and as it becomes paid, for example, I will also see that here. So that's a really nice way of not actually having to log into Xero each time you're wanting to know the status of a invoice. Perhaps you're not in finance, perhaps you're in sales, but you're just wanting to see before you send something out, or you know, if the customer happens to call in and you know there is something outstanding, it just makes it a little bit easier and you're not having to then go into Xero each time. So that is our kind of Xero integration in a bit of a nutshell, to be honest, just to show you how that then communicates back to the customer's profile page, because you will now see those details directly on the profile page. When I go back to the customer and onto my Xero tab, I will now see what is out, kind of what is due at the moment. So that's £600